Justice for Annie, A Moment of Truth movie is a pretty good film. It had a very slow start, but eventually it became a really interesting film, and this is based on a true story. This was released in 1996. It's directed by Noel Nosseck. It's written by Joyce Heft Brotman, with a cast including Peggy Lipton, Danica McKellar, Terry David Mulligan, Gwynyth Walsh, Teryl Rothery, and various others. And it's based on the true story of Deanna Hubbard Wild. And I did a little bit of research, nothing extensive, but just a little bit to see how similar the stories were, and the overarching narrative is very similar. I won't go into too much detail about the true case, but basically she died under mysterious circumstances, and it's a fascinating case. And this, I have to say, kind of, in a way, I think the film wasn't very well written for the first half. The pacing is just absolutely terrible. But the second half-ish is really, really good. In fact, it took 40 minutes to get to the point. Carol eventually finds out, 40 minutes into the film, that her daughter Annie has died. And then she finds out that her daughter recently took out a life insurance policy. And she doesn't really understand why. There was no real reason for her daughter to do this. And she begins to think that this could have been murder, and that's the investigation, and the narrative explores this possibility. And it was a very boring 40 minutes. Yes, we need a bit of time to get to know the characters, maybe 15-20 minutes at the most. But then, after the fact, after 40 minutes, the pacing is great. The mother learns about the insurance policy very, very quickly. And from there, the investigation is great. It's a very strong story. The characters are really well written. The performances are really great. There's a lot of emotion in this, a lot of very believable emotions, and the investigation aspect itself was really great to follow. I don't know how true this investigation is to the true story. Obviously, given the fact that we have different character names, it never presents itself as a carbon copy on which it's based, but certainly that's something that's worth bearing in mind. But within the film, I found it to be a really fascinating story, very well written, great pacing after the 40-minute mark. Visually, it's very good, with great camera work, a great range of locations, not the strongest colour palette, but it works well enough for the narrative, and ultimately it is a good film. It could have been a better film if the first 40 minutes weren't tremendously boring, but eventually it got there, and I came away from it feeling satisfied with the experience. If it sounds like a film for you, I'm happy to recommend Justice for Annie. If you know anything about the true case on which it's based and have any thoughts to share, very happy to hear those. And for now, I'm pleased to say Justice for Annie was ultimately a good film, and I'm pretty happy to recommend it.